Israeli attacks have attacked at least 19 Palestinians across Gaza, just days after US President Donald Trump announced a new plan that he described as a major step towards peace. Palestinian health officials say Sunday's attacks produced the highest daily death toll in Gaza in weeks. Among those killed were Abdullah Abu Taif, his pregnant wife Abir Anan, and their 5-year-old son Azam. Medical officials at Al Shifa Hospital said the family was killed when an Israeli airstrike hit their apartment in western Gaza City. Another attack struck an apartment near Khan Yunis, killing Mahmoud and Fatma Al-Hams and their young daughter. 3 other people were wounded. In central Gaza, Kamu Abu Mualik and his wife Huda were killed in an attack on their house near Deir al-Bala. 2 brothers riding a motorbike were also killed in the same area. Further deaths were reported after attacks on a vehicle in Gaza City, a tent sheltering displaced people in Khan Yunis and the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza. Israel says it targets members of Hamas and other armed groups. Palestinian medical officials and Al Jazeera correspondents said many of the latest strikes hit homes, tents, and civilian gatherings. Residents also reported that several attacks came without warning. The latest deaths follow Israeli strikes across Gaza on Friday and Saturday. One of Saturday's attacks hit medical warehouses linked to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Bala. Gaza's health ministry said 2 facilities were destroyed and another 2 severely damaged, further reducing access to medical supplies. An Al Jazeera correspondent at the site reported that an evacuation order was issued only 15 minutes before the strike. Nearby tents sheltering displaced Palestinians were also damaged. The renewed violence comes as mediators try to implement the next phase of Trump's 20-point Gaza plan. The US-backed Board of Peace said Hamas had accepted a roadmap that would link the group's gradual disarmament to a phased Israeli withdrawal. Israel has not formally accepted the proposal. A spokesman for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office told the Associated Press that Israel would not withdraw until Hamas had completely surrendered its weapons. Israeli officials have also sought guarantees that their military can continue operating inside Gaza. Other disagreements concern whether Qatar and Turkey should help verify compliance and whether weapons collected from Hamas should be destroyed or stored under the control of a new Palestinian administration. Israeli Energy Minister Eli Cohen said there was no agreement requiring Israel to suspend attacks while negotiations continued. He argued that Israel should take full control of Gaza if Hamas failed to disarm. Hamas, meanwhile, has accused Israel of escalating its attacks to obstruct the understandings reached with Washington and regional mediators. The group has called on the countries guaranteeing the ceasefire to pressure Israel to stop its military operations. For Palestinians in Gaza, the continuing attacks have reinforced doubts about whether the ceasefire exists beyond diplomatic statements. According to Gaza's health authorities, Israeli forces have killed at least 1,222 Palestinians and injured more than 4,000 since the ceasefire began in October 2025. Nikolai Mladenov, the Board of Peace's lead envoy for Gaza, says mediators are working around the clock to reduce tensions and create the conditions needed to implement the roadmap. But the central contradiction remains unresolved. Washington is presenting the agreement as a pathway to peace. Israel says it will continue attacking Gaza until its security demands are met. And for Palestinians facing fresh strikes, the distance between the diplomatic promise and the reality on the ground is growing.